Good afternoon, YouTube. It's me, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, can't believe it. July is just about over. We have just this day left, and next thing you know, it will be August, the 8th month of the year. We're already to 8th months of 2024. That means, mine would say, most of the year is just about over. But anyway, tomorrow will be one of the biggest shows for for the season. That is the Tampa Bay Pro. And Tampa Bay is promoted by Tim Gardner. He's one of the few promoters that still has women's bodybuilding in his shows. And I'm like I said, a fan of Tim Gardner. I respect his, get the opportunity to win bodybuilding where most promoters have not, where they have pushed out women's bodybuilding because of, money, political, whatever reasons. But Tim Gardner, shout out to the guy. I heard he's a great guy, and, very proud, good Christian man. So anyway, this show has a good list, especially for women's bodybuilding. It has a good list. We had some ladies who competed a few weeks ago at Chicago and Atlanta this month, and we had some ladies who are also making their debut at this show. So, like I said, this is going to be a good show. I shout out to all these competitors. And also, as you know, Tim Gardner, he's a guy who gives opportunity to all competitors. So this is also a Pro-Am Masters show. So that means men and women over 50 to 40 are competing at this show. So, Masters is really growing. Great opportunity for those competitors who have competed for a long time to get a shot to compete in the show, like the Tampa Bay Pro and other shows. Here we have the lovely Miss Mela Ash. I'm a fan of Mela. Great physique, great body. She's been a multiple-time Olympic competitor, both in women's bodybuilding and physique. She took third at Chicago. I was rooting for her. I really wanted to win. But, like I said, congratulations, Sherry Perron. I'm a fan of hers, and a pleasure to have her on my channel. Mela has a great lineup, great physique, great lineup. Last time she competed was in Romania. Didn't do too well at that show. She, I think, was one of 10 women's bodybuilding at the Olympia. I hope she does well. If she doesn't get qualification show, then there's still at least a couple more shows that she could. Now, right here we have is Michaela Aycock, and here's where I have a little issues. You know how I am. Michaela already has a qualification at the Atlanta. Now, she won Atlanta earlier this month, and now she's doing Tampa. Now, she won Tampa last year, and I don't know why. You already got your qualification. I understand you were last year's champion, but I think you could take a step back. You have the Rising things to focus on, and also the Olympia focus on. And here's the thing is, a lot of people don't get as much money. The prize money is not as big for this show compared to any other show. I'm surprised how small the prize money is. So I know being in Florida, Tampa's in our backyard, but I feel like she should step back, especially with someone like, Anastasia Levino is not going to make the Olympia because of this issues. And then with her winning this takes out an extra spot for women's bodybuilding at the Olympia. So there'd be, I think at least under 15 women for the Olympia. Next one we have is Mrs. Tina Chandler, I want to be correct. Now, Miss Chandler, she hadn't competed since 2013, made a return at the Atlanta Pro, was top 5 in both women's bodybuilding and open and masters. And, I think she's a great physique. So I saw she had an interview with my man Glenn and also with my man David. I hope you get a chance to have him on my show too. I think she has a great physique, great look. The debate is, how well she would do. This is, like I said, still a good lineup. She's doing women's over 40. And she has a amazing physique for women over 40. Here we have is Victoria Dominguez. Now, Victoria's been competing for a good while. She completed at Tampa back in 2022, took some time off, and now she's making a return here after making top 5 both in open and at Masters at the Atlanta Pro. Here is Chris Coy. Now, Chris competed at Tampa last year. She did both open and Masters, as she did at Chicago about a couple of weeks ago. She lives in Florida, and this is her own backyard. So, yeah, a lot of competitors who are competing here, a good amount of them are local competitors in Florida. We have here is Lisa Kudry, who is from Canada, who's been competing for a good while in bodybuilding. She's been an Olympic competitor back in 2022. She's, last year she did Chicago, was doing women's physique, and switched back to women's bodybuilding at the European Championship. She was top 5 at the Chicago Pro this year. Good physique, good impressive. I hope she does well. These are the lady who I consider a friend. This is, Tampa's own Janine Lakowski. Now, Janine has been competing for a good while. She's been multiple time Olympic competitor, multiple time Rise of Phoenix competitor, great poser. And she took a step back because of, injuries and stuff going on. And she's trains and coach other people. So now she's ready to come back. And I hope she does well. Like I said, I'm a fan of her. She's doing also women's over 40. Next one we have is Christina Mendoza, who was last year's Chicago Pro champion. Now, I'm surprised she didn't Chicago this year, but she decided to do Tampa. Like I said, if she can get past Michaela, and that's the big person you got to get past her. Michaela was last year's champion, and Michaela's condition is just crazy. If Christina can get past her, she probably can win the show. Like I said, that's a big if. Next up we have is Sheena Olick, another lady who I'm a fan of, who also had the pleasure of interviewing on my channel. Sheena has a great physique, great definition. She took second at the Toronto Pro, and she took third at the Atlanta Pro. If she makes the adjustments, work on her conditioning, coming a little tighter, she would do well, Like I said, I'm a big fan of Sheena. I think she's a beautiful lady, and she has a great physique. Next up we have is Anastasia Ryder. Now, I interviewed Anastasia early this year, right after she got her Olympia Pro card. Her pro card at the Nationals. She lives also in Florida. Great physique, great potential. She can do well. She might be, depending, top 5, top 10 competitor. Like I said, we had Dr. Keena Squarey. And Dr. Squarey, she is from Canada. Impressive lady. She's been busy. She's done Chicago and a couple other shows. She looks pretty good. As you know, she was women's physique. And she beat Switch to women's bodybuilding. Let's see how she does. She was I think top 5 competitors at a couple of shows, and I think she can do well. Here we have a lady who I had pleasure in interview on my channel, and that is Miss Marilyn Yee. Now, Marilyn, as you know, she turned pro back in 2022 at the Olympia Amateurs. She won overall title, and she was a heavyweight champion too. Great physique, great lines. She works with Sherry Starnes, and Sherry Starnes, as I call him, he is the female bodybuilding whisperer. She took some time to really grow and develop. Last time she was in Florida, she competed at the Nationals when the Nationals were in Florida. She didn't get a pro card there, but she got it at the Olympia in Las Vegas. Fan of hers. I hope she does well. I hope maybe we get her back on and tell her experience competing in women's bodybuilding. Here we have once Tambri Murphy, and she's been competing for a good while. She was women's physique. Now she's making her debut in women's bodybuilding. Next up, we have a lady who I had pleasure on my channel, the lovely Mrs. Gina Cortez. Now, Gina, she is a nurse, mother, wife. She turned pro at North Americans back in 2022. So this will be her pro debut. So shout out to Gina. I hope she does well. And next up, we have here one Miss, Audrey, I'm going to go by her maiden name, Pandon, because I don't want to mess up her married name. Now, she last competed since, I think, 2016, 2017. It's been a long time. So, just to make her return, and she's competing in women's Masters over 55. And we have here is one Miss Christina Ward. Last time I saw her, she competed at Savannah Pro. That was in 2022. I think that was her pro debut. And this is going to be her second show as IFBB Pro. One person who I thought might do the show, I feel could do well this show, is Hunter Henderson. But Hunter, I think she took a step back because, she works in training with Christina Mendoza. And I think that's the reason why I think Christina didn't do the Chicago Pro. Because, Christina was champion last year. But like I said, Hunter might be planning on doing another show, but there's only so few shows. Like, there's probably the Lena show that's going to be 1st of September. And also, there's the show in the UK, which is run by 2 Pro, which is the Europa Championship. And also, there's the Anaheim show, which is going to be about the end of September. Those shows are, I think, the last 3 shows wins by the way to get you Olympic qualification for the deadline ends. But I hope she does well. I hope we see her compete again. Now, we have here the list for women's physique. And like I said, it's a good list. Now, not as deep compared to some of the others, but I think the thing is a lot of women are focused is on the Texas Pro, which is coming up, I think, the next following weekend. Because that's a big show, Texas Pro, and big prize money. So I think some women say, you know what, I'd rather save my energy and my money and time for the bigger show. And, we have a present lineup. So ladies who have been Olympic competitors and top-level competitors. One person who really stands out is a person I feel like is going to win. Right here, and we have also, as you know, it's a Masters. We have some in Masters look pretty good. We have a good amount of ladies here, and I hope they do well also. We have here is Alina Alvarez, and Miss Alvarez, this is I believe would be her pro debut. Next thing we have is Alina Alvarez Romero. And Miss Romero, as you know, she made her Olympic debut back in 2023. She last competed at the Romanian Muscle Fest. She was a top 10 competitor at that show. Can you believe it? Top 10 competitor, where she would have been top 5, but you remember that was the year that Natalia Bystrova won her, made her pro debut. She beat at least 2 other women besides her to get who went to Olympia. And but let's see how she does. We have next here is Zama Benta. And Zama, as you know, is number 3 in women's physique at the Olympia. That means she's behind, Natalia Abraham Correjo, and just right step from Sarah Vilgas. If you follow my IG, I posted a video of hers, and her body is crazy. Her back, her delts, her muscle bellies, it's wild. Remember, she did win bodybuilding for a minute. And that was back in, I think it was 2022, and then she got her first Olympic qualification in 2023, and was able to be top 3. Now, she's already qualified for Olympia. The big question is why she's doing this show. But she's sponsored. She wants to be competitive. And also is doing tech staff for this. So, I'm telling you, it's going to be tough to beat her. Honestly, it's going to be tough. Next one we have is Rachel Brewer. She's also a local photo competitor. I know my man David over there, Female Body Forum, got an interview with her. We have here is Tatiana Balut. She's from Turkey. She's been competing for a good while. We have here one Miss Tracy Clark. We have here one Alicia Copolino, sorry. And I interviewed her a while back. She's from Canada. She has been to Olympia before in women's physique. Took some time off. May return last year. Did a few shows, and she has a pretty physique. I think she has the classic physique of women's physique. But I hope she does well. Next up we have is Susan Davis, who competed at the Chicago Pro, doing both Open and Masters. We have here one Miss Gio Diaz, who made her pro debut at Chicago. She also competed both at Open and Masters. Next we have is Gina Feldman, who is the current, I want to say the 2023 Tampa Bay Pro champ. And she's been to Olympia multiple times in her career, at least 5 times, been top 5 competitor. The big question is how well she would do against Zama. I think there might be a showdown between her and Zama, and maybe with Alina in the top 3. I mean, there could be 3 or 4 ladies who probably might be going to see who's going to get their Olympic qualification. I'm saying it's going to be tough for Jeannie. She may not get it this year. So that means she might try to do another show or just miss out. We have here is Erin Hughes. I don't know much about her. Couldn't find a picture on her, so we just got this silhouette. We have here is Andriana Johnson, and I believe she competed at the Texas Pro last year. We have is Marina. I'm not going to say her name. I'm calling Marina K because it's very long and very complicated. I don't want to mess it up. So she hadn't competed since, I think, last year. So this will be the first show for her this season. Next up we have is Oksana Pari. Now, Ms. Pari she competed at the Atlanta Pro. I was hoping she'd do Chicago, but she's helping her husband, Autumn, who's getting ready to do the Teen Collegiate show that same weekend as Chicago. Shout out both ladies, both her and her husband are great people. I had the pleasure of having them on my channel. Next up we have is Paula Aranta. As you know, Paula was figure, and she switched, and she was number 2 at the Imperial in Spain behind Sandra. And then she did the Portugal Pro, didn't do too well. She wasn't in the top 10. I think she was maybe 12th or 11th. So let's see how she did at this show, especially with a strong lineup on this one. Next up we have is Arnie Rivera. Now, Miss Rivera is a former military. It's a former military vet. She's a military vet. This is going to be her pro debut. We have here is Blanca Rodriguez, another lady who had the pleasure of having on here. Blanca has done the Tampa Bay Pro quite often on the show. Since she turned pro. This is going to be her 3rd year doing the Tampa Bay Pro. She's also done the Atlantic Coast Pro, and she's also double dipped both women's bodybuilding and physique. She has an impressive body, great physique, great lines. I hope she might do the Atlantic show or might try to do another show. I hope she does well. Next up, we have your one Miss Brandy Jo Zelderback. If I got any wrong, I apologize. Brandy last competed at the St. Louis Pro. As you know, St. Louis will not have women's physique next year, so that means her and 4 other competitors were the last women to compete at that show for women's physique. Her condition was a little bit, but if she can bring in good condition, she has a good amount of size, she can do well. Like I said, this is still a stacked show. So we have it competing in over 40 masters, and one Miss Kathleen Alvarez. Then we also competing in women's 40 over master is one Miss Wendy Wilson, who did the Chicago Pro. Next up, we have here one Miss Rachel Newman. We have here one Miss, we get a name right, is Nancy Cullinan. This is going to be, I believe, her pro debut. Next up, we have is Jamie Trucks, if I get a name right. She hadn't competed in a long time. I think at least over 10 years or more. This is going to be her return to competitive bodybuilding. I think you're going to see a lot more women returning after taking such a long layoff from competitive bodybuilding. Let's at least count Tina, Audrey, at least 2 or 3 have not competed over 10 years. And here is Amanda Machado, Dr. Autumn Swanson, and Linka Farakova. As you know, they were busy. I know Autumn did, the Toronto Pro. She did Chicago and Atlanta. Linka did Imperial, Portugal, Chicago, and Atlanta. And Amanda did both Chicago and Atlanta. And they were, with these 3 here, they were top 5 competitors in the last 2 shows. So the big question is, taking a step back for personal reasons, maybe. With Linka, she was really busy, so I think, Linka's been twice Olympic competitor. Autumn's been multiple time Olympic competitor. Amanda, I think she never has been. I thought she might try to do the show, but then with her fellow Brazilian, Zama Benza there, I don't think she has much of a chance. She might try to do a show like the Legion Sports Fest or the Arizona Pro, which is closer to her because she lives in Nevada and Las Vegas, so it's closer to West for her. Linka might go back over to Europe, maybe try to do the Europa Championships, which is coming up in the UK. And I don't know if Autumn's going to do any more shows. She might just maybe pack it up. There's a show in Mississippi coming up. She might possibly try to do that one. But like I said, both ladies are very impressive. They could possibly maybe get to Olympic qualification this year. Now, one lady who competed at the Atlanta Pro is making a switch. That is Mimi Solange. Mimi is now going to compete in figure. Now, she took 7th at the Atlanta Pro. So I was talking with her. She said she was going to make the switch. And I think it might work. She has those aesthetics for women's physique. The quads, the shoulders, the taper. I mean, one thing with women's physique, the vision is changing. The girls are getting bigger, more conditioned. I've seen some figure competitors that can do physique. And I'm seeing some physique competitors that might try to switch over to figure. This is my opinion. I'm not an expert, but this is what I see. But I hope she does well. I mean, and I saw the lineup for women's physique. And that's why I did a video on, because there's almost 30 women at this show. This is more than bikini and wellness. Probably even put together. Maybe just about. Figure is really showing up, because the fact is, it's getting that same stink eye as women's physique. It's not even the honor. Some promoters don't even have it. But I hope she does well. Now, like I said, the Tim Gardner Tampa Bay Pro is starting tomorrow. They're going to start around about 8 o'clock. They're going to do masters, 8 o'clock for the main shows. Like for the other divisions, like women's bodybuilding physique, are going to be on Friday, and the others are going to be on Saturday. But the show is going to open up with the masters. So I'm going to check it out, because like I said, I'm going to support some of these competitors. Like I know people like Gina Cortez, who I interviewed. I like to see how she does in her first bodybuilding show. And I hope all those ladies do well. As you know, I saw the list for it. Women's bodybuilding, physique, and figure are going to be on Friday. So I'm not going to spend no money watching 3 shows for 3 different divisions. So that's a good thing. That saves me some few bucks. But I hope all ladies do well. If you want to watch the show, pay-per-view, check it out. I know my man David Bryant's gonna be there. He's gonna check it out and maybe do some interviews. Shout out to David. He is Florida his backyard. Maybe in the future I may even get to check to meet him at a show. But this is, like I said, a stacked list. Very amazing competitors, some top level competitors, ladies making their debut, and I hope they all do well. So shout out to all the competitors. Shout out to Tim Gardner for being one of the few promoters that gave women's bodybuilding a spot where other promoters have not. So shout out to him. So good luck to all the ladies, and may the best person win. This is me on the page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, subscribe. I'm out.